first cast on a number of stitches that you feel is about right for your project. So you should trust your knitting intuition and don't worry if you cast on more or fewer stitches, because we're gonna adjust the number of stitches anyways. As to the type of cast on, I find that the long tail cast on and the backwards loop cast on provide the best estimation. So I'm going to use the long tail cast on and cast on 10 stitches. Let's say I'm going to make a skinny chunky scarf or something. So cast on as usual, don't make your stitches tighter or looser, just your normal tension is okay. And now let's see how many stitches I have so far. 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2 more stitches, and that would be the 10 stitches that I feel kind of should start me with my project. Now spread the stitches on the needle. Just simply pull them sideways as much as you can, just like this. See, I'm doing it really hard, spreading them on the needle. And then if you are trying to target a certain measurement, let's say you plan to make a scarf that is about 20 centimeters wide, then take a ruler and measure the top part of your needle. So far I have about 9 centimeters here. Or you can simply take a look at the widths and just decide whether it's good enough for you. So you don't even have to use a ruler for that. Another thing that you have to think about is the pattern repeat. If you plan to make your scarf or blanket or any other project in a certain stitch pattern that has a pattern repeat, then you have to make sure the number of stitches you cast on is a multiple of that pattern repeat. Let's say I'm going to make a scarf that has a stitch pattern with 3 stitch pattern repeat. So 10 stitches that I have on the needles won't do because it's not a multiple of 3, right? And then I have 2 options. I could either unravel 1 stitch and have 9 stitches, or I could make my hypothetical scarf a bit wider and cast on 2 more stitches. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'll add 2 more stitches to have 12 stitches on the needles, and that would be a multiple of 3, and that should work well with the stitch pattern that I have in mind. Another thing is, if you plan to add selvage stitches or borders at the sides or anything else, any other design element, you have to plan for that right now when you cast on stitches. So then you could either start working right away when you accounted for all these elements, or you could spread the stitches on the needle again and measure it, or just take a look and decide whether it's good for you, whether the width is about right, and then you start working on the project. So I did make a swatch on the same 12 stitches with the same yarn and same needles, and I did use a 3-stitch pattern repeat. That is a lovely fully reversible stitch pattern that is perfect for a scarf or a blanket, by the way. And when I measure the stitches, those 12 stitches, when I spread them on the needle and measure them, I would get about like 10.5, 11 centimeters. And when I measure the swatch that is worked on the same 12 stitches with the same yarn and same needles, I get 11 centimeters width. So as you see, when we spread the stitches on the needle, the width is about the same as it's gonna be when we actually work on this project. That's not too bad for such a rough estimation. If you want to recreate the texture that you see in my swatch, repeat the sequence of knit 2, purl 1 in every row. These instructions are also mentioned in the step-by-step photo tutorial that you will find at 10roseaday.com/estimate-cast-on. To download this tutorial as a PDF, join the club at 10roseaday.com/club. If you find this tutorial helpful, please click the like button. This way this video will get suggested to more knitters. Thank you for watching this video and have a wonderful week. I'll see you in the next tutorial.